Well, hi, all my LGBT and straight and others. Um, just wanted to say a few things on my mind in regards to being Christian and also being gay. And if, or whatever your religion is, I have come to the conclusion that it's good for gay people to come out of the closet, come out of the Christian gay closet, if you will, as well, or whatever, is your belief system, because that helps to bring to light the situation for the other person to confront themselves and you, and to be able to talk about it, and to have them um perhaps maybe even have something that will fester, if you will, but not be something that is detrimental, but something they just can't get rid of, that they have to take a look at and resolve it. Because, especially for ministers and people in the church, um, I really believe that the Christian church is, there are a lot of people falling away. I think there's a lot of people also accepting who don't go to church, um, accepting Jesus into their life and believing in God and knowing that there's something greater than themselves. And so I think that it's always a good thing to be truthful to yourself and to others. I don't think that it helps anybody to hide. And besides, life is too short to not be who you are. I think that for myself, I always took on the notion that if somebody asks me straight out, I'm going to tell them straight out, what I am, and I'm not going to hide it. And I really never have. I've always been, even outwardly, even though I show that I'm female, but just sort of been sort of a neutral. I've always loved to wear blue jeans and, when I was younger, bell bottoms and tank tops and whatever the fad was, but it was always very comfortable clothes, nothing too provocative. At least I didn't think so. Sometimes my shirts were a little bit low, but I've always sort of been myself and not really worried or not a slave to fashion. Although I did like certain things, like everybody does, but not really, oh, I must wear this, I must have this, or, you can't wear white after May. Or I didn't really care about that. I just thought that was being just too pretentious, maybe. I don't know. I've always marched to the beat of my own drummer. And um, and some people, they like to be flamboyant, or they like to dress up, and that's just who they are, and it makes them feel good about themselves and gives them sort of self-esteem, and so that's fine too. Um, no judgments. Uh, so that's kind of what I wanted to say. I also want to sort of reemphasize the love one another commandment that Jesus gave us, and also to live life and have the most abundant life as you possibly can have. But also remember God's commandments. And I also want to let my Christian friends know that I'm sort of reading the Bible more. I'm not taking it literally as much. I'm trying to understand how to read it through Jewish lens. Um, not that great at it yet. Trying to do it, as I've said before to others, to do it hermeneutically. I've got a really great YouTube friend on God Rules and Lightning Ministries, Anthony, who's just a wonderful Bible scholar, who was my first quote unquote straight Christian who was accepting of gay people that I've met online, and then of course I subsequently have met more. And I think right now that I'm following more, just this is for my Christian friends, following more John Shelby Spong, ex-bishop. I think he's retired now. I think you would still call him a bishop, but I really enjoy his story, his fight for equality and rights, racism, feminism, and homosexuality. So why wouldn't I like the guy, right? And I like what he has to say. Wonderful scholar. There's so many YouTube channels you can watch. I really loved his series on the fourth gospel, and his and his other lectures are just brilliant. He's got one that's on homosexuality and the church that you can look at, and that pretty much says it all right there. One of the things that he did for himself to understand the people in his parish, I guess is what you call it. I think he said something like 40% were of the LGBTQ community. So he wanted to know, more about it because he kept getting confronted with it, which is why I brought it up in the first place. He kept getting confronted, so he went to Cornell to study about it, gave himself 6 months, and he explains, one of the first things that he came away with is that being gay is not a choice. And just to kind of sum it up, I can tell you, I certainly didn't choose it. And I was devastated when I found out that the church didn't accept homosexuality because the Bible said it was, this or that. And so John goes through and explains those 7 verses. He also goes through and explains his discoveries working with these doctors at Cornell and scientists and his own research, and he talks about that. But we don't choose it, and I have talked about the eunuch prophecies. I believe that we were stitched this way before we were even born. So I just kind of wanted to bring that out and have you guys think about that is very helpful for your church, for you to still be who you are. And if they are not willing to be open to the facts and what's going on, you can direct them to different people like John Shelby Spong. I think you're going to run into people who are just steadfast on their belief, and then you got to wonder, just are they really following God's precepts? So I can remember in college giving a speech. It was a speech class. I had to give a speech, so I chose the topic of gay suicide, and I was appalled at how many. The percentage then of young people who are murdering themselves, killing themselves, because they don't believe that they can survive in this world. And they feel that they have no choice. And that this is the only out for them, is to take their life. Which is really, really devastating to lose such wonderful, caring, beautiful people from this world. And we've lost so many in different areas of of art and theater, and it's just sad, and not only from not only from suicide, but of course from HIV and AIDS and what have you. And after I gave this speech, some young student, I was older student in this class, came up to me and just was vehement and mean, and saying that all homosexuals were going to burn in hell. And I thought, about this poor soul that just doesn't get, that gay people can also be Christian and love God with all their heart, soul, and mind, and want to serve Him and have. Maybe unbeknownst to other people, but they have. And, who are not familiar with the eunuch prophets, don't even know what eunuch means, and how it was, the connotation and the idea, how it was lost from the east to the west, how it's known as the LGBT. It's kind of sort of encompasses the whole LGBTQ community today in the West, is what the eunuchs were back in the ancient times. Some were made the way that they were, some were made so by man, some decided just to be celibate, and some were born that way. And it says so right in Matthew 19:11 and 12. So just makes you wonder what, the evil that these people have. And many of them who are, touting that, oh, you're going to burn in hell, they've got something wrong with them. And that maybe something that they need to take a really hard look at. And oftentimes I find that those people are gay themselves. There's been a lot of bishops and government people who've been gay who voted against gay things because they were afraid for themselves, and then they just hurt other people by being afraid and not being truthful and not supporting other gay people. So anyway, this is a thought that's on my mind today for that topic. I hope that it's a blessing to you. If there's any questions I can answer for you, I'd be happy to do that. Just leave me a thumbs up, subscribe, share with your friends and family, and God bless. Bye-bye.